In the heart of Gorokoko Village, life revolved around customs, traditions, and the wisdom of the elders. The village, surrounded by lush green forests and rolling hills, was a tight-knit community where everyone knew one another, and every decision carried the weight of cultural expectation. One of the most revered traditions in Gorokoko was the payment of the bride price, a practice steeped in respect, commitment, and the honor of family legacies. Among the villagers, Baba Malam stood out as a man of influence and unwavering principles. A respected elder, he was known for his wisdom and strict adherence to the customs of the land. His only daughter, Halima, was the jewel of the village. With her flawless ebony skin, almond-shaped eyes that sparkled like the evening stars, and a kind, nurturing spirit, Halima was the dream of many young men. She carried herself with grace and spoke with a soft, melodious voice that had an almost hypnotic effect. But Baba Malam was not a man who gave his blessings easily. When suitors came to ask for Halima's hand in marriage, he measured each one carefully. For his daughter, Baba Malam set a bride price that left many men shaking their heads in defeat. 50 goats, 10 sacks of millet, 10 bags of rice, a chest of gold coins, and 10 woven blankets were the demands he made. It was a price no man in Gorokoko could afford, and to some, it felt like a challenge rather than a request. Yet Baba Malam remained steadfast. Only a man who proves his worth, he would say, is fit to take Halima as his wife. For months suitors came and went. Some tried to negotiate, offering fewer goats or silver instead of gold coins, but Baba Malam refused to budge. Others, overwhelmed by the sheer impossibility of the bride price, never returned. Halima watched silently, her emotions a whirlwind of pride and frustration. While she trusted her father's wisdom, she wondered if she would ever marry. Then, one sunny afternoon, a stranger arrived in Gorokoko. He came on horseback, his posture straight and his face calm yet confident. His name was Jibrin, a trader from the distant village of Wanzama. Jibrin was unlike any man the villagers had seen before. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and dressed in fine clothes that spoke of wealth and status. His voice was smooth, and his laughter was infectious, quickly winning the hearts of the villagers. When he expressed his interest in Halima, many thought he was the one destined to meet Baba Malam's impossible demands. Jibrin wasted no time. He visited Baba Malam's compound that evening, carrying gifts of kola nuts and palm wine. Sitting cross-legged before the elder, he made his intentions clear. "Baba Malam," he began, "I have heard of your daughter's beauty and virtue, and I wish to make her my wife. Tell me the bride price, and I will pay it." Baba Malam studied Jibrin closely, his expression unreadable. He repeated the bride price he had demanded of all others, fully expecting Jibrin to hesitate. But to his surprise, Jibrin smiled and said, "Consider it done." The confidence in his voice left Baba Malam momentarily speechless, but he quickly regained his composure. "We shall see," Baba Malam replied, his tone skeptical. 3 days later, Jibrin returned, leading a procession of camels laden with goods. Behind him came a group of men carrying chests and bundles. Every item Baba Malam had demanded was there, down to the last coin. The villagers gathered in awe as Jibrin presented the bride price. "I have kept my word," Jibrin declared. "Now, Baba Malam, I ask for yours." Reluctantly, Baba Malam gave his blessing, and preparations for the wedding began. The celebration was grander than any the village had seen. The sound of drums filled the air as women sang songs of joy and men danced under the stars. Halima, dressed in a resplendent Ankara gown adorned with intricate beadwork, looked like a queen. Yet beneath her radiant smile, a sense of unease lingered. She barely knew Jibrin and couldn't shake the feeling that something about him was off. After the festivities, Halima left Gorokoko with her new husband. As they traveled to Wanzama, she tried to quiet her doubts. Jibrin spoke of the life they would build together, a life of comfort and abundance. But when they arrived at his compound, Halima's heart sank. The grand home she had imagined was a stark, cold place, devoid of warmth or life. Jibrine's demeanor changed as well. The charm and kindness he had shown in Gorokoko were gone, replaced by a cold, controlling nature. Days turned into weeks, and Halima's life became a nightmare. Jibrin confined her to a small room, allowing her out only to perform chores. He fed her scraps, berated her for the smallest mistakes, and forbade her from speaking to anyone outside the compound. Halima's once bright spirit began to dim, her laughter replaced by silence and tears. Back in Gorokoko, rumors of Halima's plight began to surface. A traveling trader who had passed through Wanzama brought troubling news. "Baba Malam," he said, "your daughter is not well. The man she married is cruel and dangerous. People whisper that he has married other women before, and none of them have been seen again." Baba Malam's heart filled with dread. Gathering a group of trusted men, he set out for Wanzama, determined to bring his daughter home. The journey through the dense forest was fraught with tension. As they approached Jibrin's compound under the cover of darkness, they found Halima locked in a small hut. She was weak and tearful, but overjoyed to see her father. "Baba," she whispered, "he is not the man he claimed to be. Please, take me away." The men managed to free Halima and began their journey back to Gorokoko. But as they left the compound, Jibrin appeared, his face twisted with rage. "You cannot take her," he shouted. "She is my wife, and you owe me the bride price." The villagers were stunned by his audacity. Ignoring his threats, they hurried Halima away. When they returned to Gorokoko, the villagers welcomed Halima back with open arms, but their relief was short-lived. Strange events began to plague the village. Crops withered, livestock vanished, and children fell ill. The elders concluded that Jibrin had cursed the village in his anger. Desperate to lift the curse, Baba Malam consulted Mama Coco, the village herbalist. Her hut, filled with the scent of burning herbs and the glow of flickering candles, was a place of mystery and power. After a long divination ritual, Mama Coco revealed the truth. "The curse will not be lifted until the bride price is returned," she said. "But beware, this man's evil runs deep." Reluctantly, Baba Malam and the villagers gathered the bride price and set out for Wanzama. When they reached Jibrin's compound, they found it abandoned. The air was thick with an unsettling silence, as if the place itself had been tainted by his darkness. They left the bride price at the compound and returned home, praying the curse would be lifted. In time, the village healed. Crops flourished once more, and the laughter of children returned to the air. Halima, though scarred by her ordeal, began to rebuild her life. She found love again in a kind farmer who treated her with the respect and tenderness she deserved. As for Jibrin, his fate remained a mystery. Some said he had fled to another land. Others believed he had been consumed by his own dark deeds. To this day, the story of Halima and Jibrin is told in Gorokoko as a cautionary tale, a reminder that not all that glitters is gold, and that true character cannot be measured by wealth alone.